So I was able to reboot the machine, and it did some a little bit of configuration settings as it was rebooting. Um, I'm going to go back into my DVD and click on the setup, and now I'm hoping it's gonna start with the actual SQL Server setup, because we do have the framework in place, and we also have the updated installer. I believe this is good news. It says please wait while SQL Server 2008 setup processes the current operation. In this run I have not seen this yet, so I think we are on the right track. Here is your sort of like a little welcome screen. We can look at some of these options. As you click on the links, it is opening up the web page. This one we already looked at, so we'll skip that one. We have the security documentation, which talks about different things. We do have a video tutorial on security that I would recommend watching. Some of the other stuff. So I'm actually going to go on the left pane and select installation. In here you will notice that it's giving you different options. You could install SQL Server on a standalone, which is what we're going to do today. You could also install it as a failover cluster if you're using the Microsoft Cluster service. You could add another node if this was a second node in your cluster group. You could do an upgrade from SQL 2000 or SQL 2005. So I'm going to go ahead and check the first one, but before I do that, there are some other things, that some other utilities that if you're having issues with the 2008, you could do the repair. Also, you could remove a node from SQL Server cluster. Some of the other tools, resources, again, if you click on these, it will take you to the website. So definitely a good resource to have. You have advanced settings. If you wanted to skip the default install, you could use these configuration settings, and then you have options where you could change this. Well, it's not going to change because I'm running on 86 operating system. So let's go back to the installation, and I'm going to go ahead and select on this one. This would launch a wizard to install SQL Server 2008 in a non-clustered environment, or to add some new features. This process has taken a little longer than I anticipated. I started about 8 o'clock, and the .NET frame took some time to install, so hopefully this is going to go a little faster. This is the setup support rules. It's looking for essentially the prerequisites, and looks like the minimum operating system passed, the admin account. We also did do a restart. It's checking for some other stuff, so let's go ahead and click OK. I don't think there is another reboot during this part of the installation. So now it's asking, it's talking about the product key. Notice that we are using a Enterprise Eval Edition. If you were using this in product or installing this in production, you would go ahead and enter your product key over here. I'm just going to go ahead and leave that as default and hit next. Here's your standard software license agreement. I accept. It's these are the setup support files, and I believe we should have already installed a lot of these. Because we had the .NET framework, and we also had the updated installer package software. I will give this a couple of minutes. If it starts to take too long, I will go ahead and pause the video. It's a little tricky because I don't want you to miss a step as I'm going through these. Yet at the same time, I don't want you to just sit and look at this bar going by. Looks like it started out pretty good, and then all of a sudden it's just kind of hanging out at this towards the end. Yes. Over the years, I've installed a lot of SQL servers, and it's always hit or miss kind of thing. As such, even after all these years, my confidence level is never very high. Okay, good. So looks like these are another set of rules that it's checking for. And I guess the one rule I'm getting is the I do have the firewall enabled, and it's asking me to open up the ports for remote access, which in my case is not an issue since I will be using this locally. But this may be something you may have to consider, and here's a link for that. I'm just going to click next. Alright, I think there is light at the end of the tunnel. Here we are essentially getting a hierarchy of features you want to install. I'm going to pick a few things here. Database engine services definitely is the core application. I will also be picking up the Business Intelligent Development Studio, or BIDS. This is used to build do BI stuff like analysis services, reporting services. I'm going to go ahead and select client connectivity tools, although there won't be any client connecting to my server. I will select integration services, which is the SSIS, and a replacement for DTS. And let me see, books online, it's usually a good idea to have. Management tools, I'm going to go ahead and select complete. I think that should be it. I don't need some of these other features, so I will just I selected the database engine, the bids, client tools, books online, management tools, SSIS, and click next. This is my default instance. As such, it is selecting this as the ID. If you were using a named instance, that would be checked. The location is right here. In your production, you could possibly set this on a different drive. I'm just going to go ahead and hit next. Really don't want to change a whole lot of default settings. It's saying, okay, I have about, it's asking, it would take about 2 gigabytes of space. I have about close to 200, so that will not be an issue. We'll just click next. This is a definitely important screen. It's asking for the accounts that this is going to run under. Typically, what you want to do is you want to have a dedicated service account in your domain that should be running a lot of these services. In fact, I've worked at places where they would have a specific account per server. So, and the idea is that if you put this under a user, and if they leave the company, then the service will stop. Also, you never really want to use the local service accounts because of the high privilege that's attached to those. So for now, just for ease, I'm going to just select my name, my user account as the one to use, which is not best practice, but just for the sake of ease, I will